What's going, everybody? It's your boy Stevie. We're live with an episode of The Sesh, coming at you from the Sesh Studio, aka my Cribski. Today is June 25th, 2018, and we got arc ramps today, and I'm super excited. It's dinner time at the Sesh, so we might hear some background noise a little bit because my roommates are all up and about, but we'll disregard them. Today is going to be awesome because, like I said earlier, we got Arc Ramps coming on. I've been trying to grab him for a minute, and we finally got. This will be the second ramp maker we have had on the show, and everybody knows his ramps have been super blowing up recently because they're just so unique, and the woodwork and all the craftsmanship of it is so cool, and the marketing and the whole look of it. So I'm super excited to have Don on there. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But first things first, we got an announcement. Yes, an announcement in the studio. We are now going to be accepting. I know I mentioned it earlier, in earlier episodes, I should say, but we're going to now be accepting advertisements for the sesh. Basically, if you're a company or a brand or a writer that's got something coming out, and you would like to have like a video, an actual video or audio advertisement played, created by you guys, of course, or I can create one for you. And if you want to get an advertisement played during the show or before or after the show, basically we can get that arranged now. So just basically hit my DMs for that, and we will be getting that going, I should say. So I'm super excited for that. That being said, though, let's transition over. AOS Krill, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to the sesh. We are doing big things over here, so we're gonna get this going with. Excuse me. We're gonna give our man Don a call on the classic Discord for once. Yeah, he's deep in it, so we got him lined up. I just got a message from him. We're gonna shoot him a call now. Hello.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, Don, what's going on, man?
What's up, Stevie?
Hang on, let me turn you up a little bit because I got you a little
I'm
quiet.
on my keys right now.
All right, no, you're good, man. This is awesome.
Good to go?
Yeah, you're good. I'm good to go.
Alright.
So what's going on, dude? How you been? How you been today?
Pretty good. Just an average day for me.
Dude.
Working
Yeah, I feel you on that.
stuff.
Daily grind. Yep. I was gonna say, did you hit the shop
Right
today?
now.
I was gonna say, oh, are you in the shop right now? Awesome, dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know the people at home love the footage that or that you post on your page and on your Instagram.
I love doing that stuff, man. All the behind the scenes footage and stuff.
Yeah, dude. I know, like, one of the messages I got before we even did this, as soon as I announced that we had it, people were like, just make sure, like, to let them know that we love the shop stuff. So I was like, I made sure that I would make that a point that people liked it. So really keep that up. Basically, I'll give you the first section to kind of talk about arc ramps and yourself as an Illinois writer, and basically everything that you do that got you to this point of making ramps with and your brand. You know what I mean?
All right. I'll try to keep it relatively brief.
Okay, I'll be prodding you with questions.
Okay, I've been fingerboarding since like 2005 or 6.
Okay.
So it's been a long time. I was heavily involved in the community back then, like FFI, the forums and stuff.
Yeah.
Before this whole new era started.
Right.
I kind of took myself out of the community for a while and just fingerboarded, didn't worry about like being in the community, whatever.
Exactly.
And then I came back like a year and a half ago, and it was just so different, on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
And then John, my buddy John, who runs Cowply,
Right.
one of my best friends, I saw him, doing Cowply or whatever. And then my buddy Scott, who runs Dynamic, they've been friends of mine since high school, John before that. And I was like, I want to be involved somehow, like I love this. And they're like, dude, there's not really like that many ramp companies, especially in the U.S. Like, and so I've always been making fingerboard stuff, like ramps or like whatever, just for us, for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started making ramps, nothing was planned out. I just put together some ramp ideas or whatever, and they started off very different than what they are now. But each ramp I made just evolved.
Yeah.
And it just like snowballed into what it is, you know. But
Exactly.
it wasn't planned. It was more so I got to give some credit to John and Scott because they kind of helped me. They're like, they helped me in terms of like, hey, you should do that. You should do the ramps, you know. So I was like, hey, maybe I'll try. I'll give it a go and start making some just for fun, you know.
Exactly. And
And
it was just like a different angle and a way for you to kind of get involved as like the trio of riders.
because I, you know, I have a workshop and like I've been woodworking on and off for a long time, and it kind of just fits, you know.
Exactly, exactly. No, that makes plenty. That's awesome how you kind of completed the like the three amigos. You know what I mean? Yeah, like the trio of companies and also just super competitive riders too. Like kind of tapering off what you just said. And also really briefly is if there's not, it's totally okay. I can edit the audio later for the actual posting on YouTube. But do you have like an audio like an up that you can like turn yourself up a little bit on? Just because I know on my end you are kind of coming up a little bit weaker.
Let me see. Is there anything in Discord I can do here?
I was gonna say I can definitely check that really quick, but if not, I can totally mess with it. Yeah, if not.
Ready? I'm gonna push it up a little.
Okay.
Boom. Is that better?
Yeah, yeah, it's coming up a little bit more powerful. All right, awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's better. All right, now like I was saying, tapering off that, and I know you and John and like you John and is it like who? What's the name of the guy who owns Dynamic? Scott, you said.
Scott B. Yeah.
Scott B. That's right. That's right. Sorry, I have to write that down. Scott B.
That's cool. Yeah.
Basically, you guys, since you guys kind of started off because you know, you guys have been in the scene for a while. That's one thing I wanted to touch on when you said earlier. You guys have been active. Like you guys have always been like competitive riders, and you know, like you've been seen in the scene. You know, because I remember being a younger guy. I just wasn't like super active because I was super shy. You know, when being a younger kid. But you guys have always been competitive riders. You guys have kind of always had like, you know, good stuff coming out. And I know John has had like a ton of stuff like that has come out with like collab stuff. And you guys have always been known as like the Illinois boys. You know what I mean? Yeah, so, kind of like before we get deeper into arc ramps, like how did you kind of get involved in fingerboarding as a squad? You know, you guys when you guys were younger, like who stumbled on it first, and like what was like the whole process of getting in there?
So basically, I was in sixth grade, and I met John pretty much in sixth grade, and he was just a god at fingerboarding with tech decks, and so he was insane at it. You know, he's always been good ever since I met him, and pretty much he got me into it ever since then. We started hanging out, and he got me into like heavy into skateboarding and fingerboarding both. So like I gotta give him credit, you know what I mean? Like he sparked that or whatever. And then so we were using tech decks, right, for like 2 years. And then we met Scott and Chris Petronic.
Okay.
I'm sure you remember him.
Yes.
And those guys introduced us to like wooden fingerboards. You know what I mean? So we saw them, they had like Berlin Woods and a Homewood and stuff like that. And it just like blew our minds basically because we didn't it was, you know, we didn't
those
even
are
know
like
it
the
existed
first
until
original
then.
ones, like the first original companies that were coming out. That I mean, at least that I saw from that era.
Right.
You know what I
And
mean?
so we were like, holy cow, there's other stuff besides tech deck. We didn't even know.
Exactly.
And then that just, you know, that grew into we found YouTube stuff, Mike Schneider,
oh god,
and
yeah.
all of his stuff.
Once
right
you spill
about
into that,
time.
it's over.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's what it turned into. So it was I found it from John with the tech decks, and then we met Scott and Chris, and they introduced us to the real stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the
that's how that
the
started.
intermeta forum side of it. Yeah, when it becomes a super hobby, you know what I mean? I totally understand that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of there was one other person that okay, I want to ask you this. Do you remember a guy named Bobby Hill? I've brought him up a couple times. Like he on YouTube, he was Bobby Hill, and he lived in like Bolingbrook, I want to say, but like
that was John's alias.
Was that really? That
I swear that was his
oh
alias.
my god, that is one thing that I remember because I remember like I used to.
That was his nickname.
I used to go to Bolingbrook
So
skate park.
I think that might be who you're talking about.
Yes,
sure.
he on YouTube. On YouTube. That was who.
His name on YouTube was B Hill Films.
Yes, yes,
referring to,
exactly.
like, Bobby Hill
Yes,
Films.
because it was like something about like somebody like was like brought him up to me when I was like looking like first entering the YouTube phase, and I was trying to get linked up with writers like in my area and stuff like that. But I was like a kid.
That was definitely him. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Okay, I just was wondering because I knew like it. I was trying to put the pieces together, but I knew there was someone. I was like, there's someone that was out here that I like was like when I was younger, I tried to get in contact with, but I was messaging people on the forums and shit. You know what I mean? It just made no sense.
Wow.
So no, I was just wondering because I was trying to link up like when I was younger, where I was,
Yeah.
But anyways, sorry, that totally like threw me off because I
No,
remember
that's
watching
cool.
his footage and I
That's
was like, yo,
cool.
man, if I could get with these
Dude,
kids,
he's
that
still
would
got his stuff up there too. I think it's under a different name. I think it's under just John
I know.
Cowart.
I was gonna say I've looked for it on YouTube and I think I was like I couldn't find that YouTube anywhere. So I thought I knew it had to be a name change or he deleted it. So no, I did not mean to like go off on a tangent there. But anyways, I'll go back. We'll get back on track here a little bit.
All
Um,
right.
let's talk about the like. How did you get involved with like? Like, did you ever get involved with like the contest scene and or just going to events or anything like that?
I did, but less so when I first started because I was younger. I didn't have a
Yeah,
car, so it was like less, it was a little bit more difficult to get around and go out to
exactly.
contests.
Relying
But
on mom and dad.
I did go to a contest in Homewood,
Okay.
um, and I actually think I won the contest there when we were there. I had to be in like eighth grade or something like that. So that was like the main thing. And then John and Scott went to the Flat Face Rendezvous all the time,
Right.
and I ended up not going. I don't exactly remember why. I just don't think I like traveling at all as a kid.
Yeah.
I think it just like kind of scared me or whatever. I
No, that
wasn't
makes
into
sense.
like you know going out that far, but they went to the rendezvous and stuff, and I didn't. And the first rendezvous I went to was like really recent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
exactly. You like, and
it's
that's because you got
more
the
so
brand
now I go to events, not as much in the past, but I was
exactly.
definitely involved more so like through the internet and stuff.
Yeah, we were like the first generation of like, well, not so much trolls, but like kids putting up content and stuff like that. So
Oh
I think that's
yeah.
awesome. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So let's transition over to Arc. So what like I know you said that you were like, what can I do to get involved, right? So you're like, okay, this ramp sounds like a good idea. John brought up a good point. But what was your first move? Because I know you got the shop, and I know you're a hobbyist and you enjoy skating and lifting weights and playing guitar. Like, what made you go? You know what? I can put some hours in. I can sprinkle a little time into this. And like, what was the first move on? Like, hey, what's the first ramp I make?
I'll tell you the setup for sure. So basically, at the time I was going to college, work, and also my main job was working as a freelance um, video editor and stuff like that.
Right.
So I was working freelance doing special effects, graphic design, blah blah blah, just basically all that realm. I was
Right.
working in that, so that's what I was doing for work, and I just I could divvy out some spare time. I could set my own hours and stuff. So
Exactly.
I set aside some time to make some ramps, and I started an Instagram prior to Arc, like a couple months, and I had a little
Right.
following just from posting fingerboard videos. There was no Arc involved at all. And then when I started Arc, I think I was at like 500 followers or something like that. So it was a little ways down the line. I was posting stuff,
Okay,
and
so you just kind of did like a revamp of the page.
kinda, yeah. Like I still have the videos I posted. They just
Right.
don't have arc ramps in them. They're just like me fingerboarding.
Right. The pre
But
phase. Yeah, exactly. I have some
yeah,
clips on there too, still before this podcast
right,
started.
right.
So
Yeah. So then I set aside some time for because I was setting my own hours and stuff, and just started making ramps. And my first idea for arc was to make ramps that were like interconnected somehow, like linked, kind of
right.
like how tech deck ramps used to be, except like obviously a better version of
Yeah,
it.
like a higher
You know how you
quality.
used to be able to connect the
Yeah,
tech
with
deck ramps
the
together
the
with the
the
little
connector
connectors?
piece. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to do something like that. So I was like, maybe I could put magnets on them and you could like connect them all around in different spots and make a different park or whatever. I was
Right.
just coming up with random ideas at this point.
Exactly.
Um, but then things just slowly evolved and I was like, yeah, that's kind of gimmicky and like I tried it and it was kind of just too it's not worth it. It's like you could just
Exactly.
put ramps next to each other. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it just I kind of just like crossed stuff off the list that I didn't think worked that well. And
Right.
I really put the effort into like evolving it, you know what I mean? It starts off so much different than what it is now. So cuz there's been so many trials and errors. Um but
Yeah, it
yeah,
comes with the
that's pretty much
process.
how it started out in terms of like getting ARC started. And
So
I sold a couple of those ramps. Like slow sales start out slow when you're a company, especially a new one, because people are like, "Oh, who is this?"
no, yeah, you
But
have to have that time of like, yo, we're here.
Right,
Yeah,
right. And they're like, and even if your ramps are like good or your product's good, when you start off, it doesn't really make a difference right
not at
away
all.
because if no one's bought your stuff, no one knows how it is. You
Exactly.
know,
You
they're
have to
just
have
seeing
some
something
reference.
online. So I sold a couple things. I actually initially made like they kind of were like Black River style. They had like coping and they were like boxy and all Baltic birch with thin layers of Baltic birch like Black River style.
Right.
And I was like, why make Black River style if they're already doing it the best? Why not do my own? You
Exactly.
know,
Step
like
off.
make up
Yeah.
your own style. Like there's no what's the motivation for someone to buy a ramp if it's just a copy or something else similar? It's like they're just gonna buy the best version. So it's like make
Right.
something new, redesign, you know. So but that's how you have to start. You start by just making what you see and then you kind of have to change it.
Yeah, it gives you that like hands, because if you start, and I wouldn't say people are like biting because of course you go on from that point and start making your own thing, but you have to have
Right.
that reference of like you knew from the beginning you wanted a quality product and you wanted something
Right.
comparable and or like of
Exactly.
course you always want better than Black River. So why not
Exactly.
start basing something off that and then kind of revamping it into your own kind of form?
Yeah, and initially none of my designs were the same, but it was just a similar build style,
Right.
basically, is what I'm saying, you
Yeah,
know.
you were taking
So,
just the
but I
foundation
wanted
of
to
the
change
ideas.
that too eventually, which I did. Um, and that's when it just like blew up once the new stuff came out, you know. Um,
Exactly.
a
And
couple of the new ramps.
I wanted to talk. I always ask people about this, but with your Instagram, like when you knew you wanted to market it, like how did you know you were gonna go with that whole like, okay, we're gonna have this old like kind of like
The
retro
nostalgic
style, you know
vibe.
what I mean,
The
marketing scheme.
nostalgic vibe, yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm buying a console.
Honestly, it's not as I did not plan that. All I do with my content and stuff I put out, I just put in what I love and the things that I'm into. You know what I mean? So like I'm
Exactly.
into a lot of stuff from the '80s. I love that vibe, '80s
Yeah,
and
it's
'90s
cool.
stuff. Sometimes in that era. So all I do is really incorporate what I like into what I create. You know what I mean? It's just a way to channel the things you enjoy, and it always just comes out of the videos. There's no stopping it, and it just grew into that style basically. So
Dude, that's
it's definitely
awesome.
here to stay. That style's pretty much arc at this point.
No, that's so
You know.
cool, man. Like I love as soon as I saw that you were putting this stuff out, I was like, man, this is so cool because you immediately
Thank you.
had like a look to it, and like that's one trend I'm noticing about companies that instantly kind of have a grab of the scene. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like you're out here making like tons and tons of money, but like people that they catch the attention of people and like, ooh, I need to get that product. It's like when you
Right,
have
because
that
it's
like that
something you
eye
haven't
catching
seen
idea.
before.
Yeah, exactly, and that
You know,
marketing work.
perfect example is this old company named I don't know if you remember called Bonsai Concrete.
Yes, Bonsai Concrete. It's the
You remember that?
best. Oh god,
They
it
were
was
the
so
first, in
good.
my opinion, the first company that I saw that did cool advertisements and like had a certain vibe. They had that like it was like a kung fu movie style vibe with it,
Oh my
and it was
god,
so
it's
cool to
so
me. And I
dope.
saw it on YouTube when I was younger, and that instantly caught my attention. So that's like my example of what it does. It catches your attention, and you're like, "Oh, this is cool," like this is sweet. It has a vibe. It has a style that you haven't really seen, especially in the fingerboard community. You know.
Exactly, and I remember now. I'm like, as you're telling me that, I'm remembering all the ads and all the YouTube clips that I used to see
Yeah,
of people
dude.
like doing big spin lip slides on their
That got
bonsai
you
curve, and
hyped
you're
up
like,
to
dude, I
like
need that.
fingerboard and stuff. It gets you hyped up and makes you want to whatever makes you want to fingerboard is pretty much going to be the thing.
Exactly,
If
and
it gets you hyped
it
to do
makes people
something,
grab that obstacle. They got like, man, I wish I had that obstacle. It's
yeah,
like
it
I
makes it
need to
look
get that
extra
obstacle.
fun. If it.
That's actually hilarious, and that's actually perfect that like, that like you see that, you know what I mean, and that's
Dude,
for any
yeah,
aspiring companies. Um,
that's what's up.
with that, okay, let's talk about the first ramp that you released in mass production because we kind of touched about like how you started off building kind of different ramps and kind of experimented. But
Right.
let's talk about
Yeah.
that first
Just testing the
release of
waters
the
here.
yeah of the first official release when you kind of transitioned the Instagram and everything was officially like, okay, this is how I'm gonna mark the first ramp of arc ramps.
So you're asking what is the first one that really took off?
Yeah. Like, which one was the one that was like, okay, this is the one that's kind of catching the attention of everybody.
Oh, it's called the Q mode.
Yeah.
It's basically like a quarter pipe mixed with a bench with a lower ledge attached to it.
Right.
And that was the first one. I think I posted that ad on Instagram, just showing the ramps, and they were up on the website and stuff. that video got like 14,000 views on Instagram, or like 15,000.
Jeez.
And you know, prior to that I wasn't getting nearly that. So like that video blew up or whatever. And that definitely was the first ramp, because it was, I don't think there's anything like it before. That it was just so weird. It was a quarter pipe that went up into a ledge. It was like 2 inches, 3 inches wide,
Yeah,
and then it
I
has a
looked at it
ledge
on the
sticking
shop.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I tried
Yeah,
to get
that
a good
was the
idea.
first one I think of its kind, basically, in
Yeah.
terms of the first one of my ramps that I put out that was like arc weird, abstract style
Yes.
almost.
I see that you have like
That
lettering,
definitely blew it up.
the lettering style for how you name your ramps, and of course they kind of look like the letter that you're naming it after. But like, was that like the inspiration behind it? You're like, okay, I want this to look this way, or did you kind of have that? I want this quarter pipe to ledge to lower ledge. Like, did you have that idea in your head the whole time?
Dude, my brain is with ramp designs. Like I swear it was meant to be for this company and me to create it. Like it was, my brain rapid fires ramp designs, and it's, you know, visually. So like what I do is I'll be like thinking or whatever. I have my notepad and I'll just sketch what visualizations in my brain, whatever the
Right.
design is, you know, and then that starts the basic design or whatever.
Dude.
So that's just basically what happened. It's not any more like than that. I just wanted to create some type of like something different. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You wanted to come
So,
at it from a different angle, but the fact that you have that like idea of like, or not idea, but mindset to kind of like, okay, I'm gonna design all these ramps, and I know you kind of have that process of elimination of, okay, this looks good,
like,
this looks good, you know.
yeah.
So that's awesome.
I don't want to. I don't want to sound. I'm not trying to have like some type of like egotistical about it, but I'm saying like my brain. I feel like I was born to like make ramp designs. You know, like
No,
my
you
brain just
have
like
the mental,
creates
like
it.
you understand it. You know
Yeah, yeah. It's not
the
like anything more than that. It's just like I was. I feel like I was made to do this, dude.
seeing you
Like
in
I
the
just.
shop, just the clips that you put up, dude. It's like natural handwork
It's
motion. You
just
know
a
what I mean?
perfect. Like, it's like my dream. You know what I mean? Like I can't believe it, but it's awesome.
Dude, that's
I
awesome.
love it.
That's the
Yeah.
passion that
No.
we need in the community, man. I'm telling you.
Dude, I got so much for it. It's like too much passion. Like I need to like chill myself out,
I
because
feel
like
you, dude.
I have a lot of stuff that I don't want to like. It's like I don't want to overdo things. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, or get too lost in one thing because you got to
But
do
it's
the
good.
big
It's
boy
good to
stuff.
have all
No,
that
exactly.
passion.
Good side passions. You know, good side passions. All right. With that, okay, let's talk about who did you kind of? I know you're cool with John, Scott, and everybody that's making all these, like, you know, they're doing their own thing, and like other writers that are kind of bigger. Like I know you have your connections with Flat Face and things like that. Who are some of the writers that you personally like to, not so much like, I don't like to say send product to, but when you have ideas or like concepts that you kind of messing with, do you kind of keep that just for yourself, or do you ever have people that you kind of look to go like, yo, does this look dope, or like, let me send you
Oh,
this?
I have all my like basically my friends. Like I talk to John a lot. I talk to my buddy Biz. Shout out to Biz. He started a company called Magic Fingerboards.
Right.
Pretty sick. He's just starting out, but I always throw ideas and send pictures to him, to John, to my team riders, Dev and James.
Right.
You know, like I'll send them to people that, you know, especially people I can trust, and I'm just like, yo, what do you think about this? You know,
Exactly.
so
People you can
I
get real
love doing
feedback.
that. I love bouncing ideas off people and getting different reactions and ideas back. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
No, that's
so
awesome.
yeah,
You
that's
gotta have that
basically
people.
how that goes.
Yeah. With those people, has there ever been a concept that you like? I mean, this kind of has nothing to do with that last question, but has there ever been like a
That's all
ramp
right.
design that you kind of have like, I don't want to say can't really complete, or like don't have the means of doing so, but is there like a ramp that you've kind of always thought about, but you haven't really gotten around to kind of mastering how it should be made? You know what I mean? Are there any ideas, or like, what do you do when you kind of get to those points?
I literally just like got past one of them, and it was quarter pipes with the top deck
Right.
and the coping on it.
Exactly.
So that's like, you know, I just literally got past that, and I'm so excited that I finally, you know, got a good build idea for that. And
Yeah,
it's
no,
like,
that's
it's not
super
that I
nice.
couldn't do it. It's that if there's not an efficient way to build it, it's
Right.
pretty much not going to happen. You know what I mean? Because
You're mass
um,
producing them. You know, they gotta be. They
I'm a
gotta
one
be.
man show here, so
Exactly.
I do everything about it. You know, all the aspects of the build process. It's all one person, so it has to be a good way to build it, or else it's going to be too long of a time to build it. You know
Yeah,
what I
and you
mean?
want it to be consistent.
So
You know what I mean? It's gotta. It's gotta
it's
come.
got to be a system,
Yeah,
basically, and
that
it
makes
has to
total sense.
work really well when you're building it. So I finally got a good quarter pipe system that's a really good, and I can make a lot of them. I can mass produce them with that. So that's basically what determines what I put out. If I can build it efficiently, then I'll put it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course, there's ideas, and I have limits that I set for myself. That's really going to be something difficult, to where like if someone wants me to do that, it's almost going to be like a 2-3 day task. Then that's not going to happen, because
Right.
I could do it, but it's not something you want to sell to people
Online
mass produced
consistently,
wise.
yeah, like mass
You
supply.
only
What
have
if
so
somebody
much
wants like
time
3?
in your day, you know.
Right. You got other stuff to do.
But but those limits could be breached eventually when I come up with a proper design system for it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I have a lot of designs that are going to come out, that there's so many, dude, like, that are gonna come out. So many new series and stuff I have written up,
Exactly.
that I'm really really excited about. But yeah, that quarter pipe was definitely one of the things that I felt that I needed to get to. Because I had
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
a
of people that
classic
were
thing
like,
you
"Yeah,
gotta
I
have.
like your quarters, but I really want coping and I really want a top deck." And I was like, "Yeah, that would be awesome. I better do that."
And
So,
your edit you put out with it was super awesome.
dude, thanks.
That was like some dope, super
Yeah,
dope
I
clips,
have
and you're
I have
always
a
pumping
blast
them.
making the edits. That's for sure. It's really
gotta
fun.
ride the product a little bit,
What's up?
I said you gotta ride your own product a little bit. You gotta test it out. You gotta,
Oh, dude, I always test out my stuff, dude. I can't help it. I gotta test it out, make sure it rides.
Yo, I gotta make
You
sure.
know,
I gotta test this out real quick. A little fingerboard break
dude,
in between.
right? Especially right before I ship it off. If I'm shipping off a quarter, I'll just do a rock fakie or a blunt fakie on it, and then I'm like, all right, I can pack it up now. It's good to
All
go.
right, yeah, it's good to go. It's good to get
You know what I
shipped.
mean? You got to make, like, it's almost like a peace of mind thing. Like, I know it's good, but I wanna test it out for myself, make sure it rides. It's
That's
it's just
awesome.
it's almost like an obsessive compulsive disorder thing.
Gotta
Like,
rock the
I don't
fakie
know.
every one of these real quick. No, you gotta
Yeah.
do it though. It's coming out. It's being sold to somebody that's about to put out some dope clips
Just
on
when
it.
I ride it, I'm like, all right, this is when they get it, they're gonna be pumped. You know what I mean? Like, here it goes.
All right, and also real quick, shout out to AOS Krill and Suppy FB that are in the chat, showing love to our.
I actually am on the Twitch page right now. I'm gonna read this.
Yeah, it's
I've
getting a
always
little.
wanted to find an FB podcast. Well, you found it. Arc was
Yeah.
one of my inspirations to some of the ramps I've made. That's awesome. That stuff. If that's inspiration, that's makes me really pumped up.
Yeah, dude. I'm
You know
glad
what I
that
mean?
that's kind of
That's
why I
what it's
like the
all
live
about.
chat. The live chat's nice.
Oh yeah, that's what this is
Okay.
all about, though.
Yeah, dude. Exactly.
Growing and inspiring.
We got to do it because there's a lot of the youth on here.
Shout out to Paragon, bro. He just said something. That's my buddy too. I game with that guy. He's the coolest. He's a shit.
Dude, got to get the game in
All
there,
right,
dude.
sorry.
No, you're good. We got to show
Back
love to
on
the
track,
chat.
dude.
Most people
Yeah.
don't even realize. So most people don't even know it's there. That's why it's there. Like I want people to
Yeah, dude.
interact with it. So you're good to go, man. Okay, now I always gotta ask this, and you're totally cool if you can't say anything right now. Like it's not like a pressure
Sure.
question. But is there anything that you got coming out that you kind of haven't hinted at yet, or like that you got kind of on the
I'll
on
I'll
deck?
give some hints. Yeah. So basically, like, the ramps I've put out have been they've been pretty abstract,
Yes.
and like less of a realistic, like if you're talking like the roller coaster ramp or like the Astro, which are really like abstract.
Right.
It's not something you see in the skateboard realm that often, you
Mhm.
know. But I'm gonna have a series geared towards more realistic stuff. So like
Ooh.
coping, we're gonna have like ledge coping, and more so like less crazy curves, more so just regular items. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to add versatility to my arsenal of ramps, I guess you could say.
Ooh. So you
So
can
I
we
guess
can,
I'll
we,
tease
we can
that.
expect some classic obstacles from art coming.
Yeah. People have been wanting that too. People have always told me like, oh, I really want coping on my ramps. I'm like, well, I'm going to do that, and it's gonna be fun. So
Yeah, dude, it's
so
coming.
that's
Don't
I
worry,
guess
guys,
that's
it's
the
coming.
tease I'll give it. We're getting a new series of realism.
Yeah, dude, Suppy's looking for that Astro bench, dude. He's looking for it.
Oh, nice, yeah.
um,
Yo, it's Suppy. What's up, Suppy?
dude, gotta get him. Gotta say what up. Okay, with that though, let me transition into some of the classic ramps you have. Are there any were there like I know you always have like not so much always a contest, but I know you did one when you collab with Calply and stuff like that. When you're doing your giveaways and you're kind of like seeing the submissions and just in general, and people probably tag you and stuff. Are there any like specific writers that you've been seeing like really doing some amazing stuff on your ramps?
Dude, I gotta say one kid who entered my contest. He does some of the craziest stuff that I can't even believe is possible. His Instagram is nefarious FB.
Yes, I followed him. I
Nefarious.fb.
followed him when you
That kid,
posted him.
mark my words, is gonna be blown up soon. Like I think he's got like 400, 500 followers.
Yeah,
He is
his
like
combos are
inhuman. The stuff
ridiculous.
he does, dude.
Yeah,
He does like kickflip back tail, and then like hard flips out of that into another back tail, and then does another kickflip out. Like this kid's crazy, dude.
he's
But I
got
just had to say
really
that kid out of
complex
anything.
control for
He
how
was
young
like
he is.
second place in my contest. He almost won.
Jesus.
Good, yeah, dude. That
Yeah,
someone
that kid's
sponsor
amazing.
that kid.
Yeah, somebody.
Or I
Yeah,
might,
somebody
the
get that
next
kid.
year.
I mean,
So.
it's not even like someone should sponsor him. It's a smart move.
Right. No, that
It's
kid's gonna be huge.
Yeah, it's a smart move.
No, like I said, I will probably eventually.
Yeah.
I'm putting people on my team over this next year. We'll be putting some people on.
Hey,
So
that's actually a
I don't want
huge
to
thing to
obviously
say.
say who because that would spoil the fun. But
Right, but that's a
yeah.
huge thing to say, man. Holy shit! Like you heard it here first, people. He in the next year he's looking for some teammates, so make sure you're
I'm putting
putting out
people
some
on.
good
Dude.
content.
There's
Yeah,
not necessarily like tryouts going on, but
Oh,
I'm
no,
just
yeah.
like my eyes are open and I'm viewing like I got people in my sights. You know what I'm saying?
He's seeing you.
And
If you're
I've
out
already
there,
like
he's seeing
like
you.
you saw, I've already hit up a couple people and put them on.
Exactly.
So
Gotta show love. Gotta show love to the kiddos, and the people in general. With that though, we're going up to 35 minutes, and I can't keep you here all day as much as I would love to talk about it. I gotta ask you two more questions, and I ask everybody these questions.
Alright.
I have to change the first one a little bit because it's always like depending on what company or like who it
feel
is.
free at whatever.
You say you're going
Answer
more towards realism and things like that right now, but do you feel that arc ramps will always kind of, even though you just want to adversify, earlier you said you want to adversify what you got to offer and stuff like that, will you always stay true to the kind of like bendy wood mold, kind of almost like abstract style of ramp making, or do you ever see yourself like kind of calming down?
Like that's for sure what I want to be known for. All I'm saying is I'm coming out with a series that's going to be a little different. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I always want to be known for that style. So
Okay.
I'm
No,
gonna
that
stay
makes
true
plenty
to
of
that
sense.
for
I just
sure.
wanted to ask just to see kind of like where your
Oh
head
yeah,
is.
that's. I'm not looking to make any major like changes of the vibe or style or anything like that. That's
Awesome.
like set in stone. And there's going to be a lot of more ramps in that style that come out. But I'm saying the next series is going to be a little different. So which
So
I'm
keep your eyes
really
peeled,
pumped on.
people. Keep your eyes peeled. Like
Oh
that's
yeah,
critical.
definitely
Though.
keep your eyes peeled. And I got a collab with Mr. Airflow,
Whoa.
Airflow Rails. So we're gonna be doing some ramp rail combos. You know what I'm saying?
Some ramp rail combos with airflow would be hot for the scene. You guys are both some super
So
like hot.
it's in the
newborn
works
brain.
right now. I sent some ramps over to him, and he's doing work on them, getting some stuff,
Getting some
figured
prototypes
out.
going. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
And you gotta ride those. Gotta show those a little love, dude. You gotta put out some
Absolutely.
content with that. I would love to see that. But
I'm excited for that for sure.
the second question I have to ask you though is, when arc ramps is finished, or like when you're done, making product or fingerboarding or whatever it may be that kind of ends that process. What is the one thing that you want to be known in the scene for doing, or like what do you want to leave behind with arc ramps, and like what's the impact you want to have?
Probably just like to be positive in the fingerboard community and to grow the fingerboard community. There's things you can do in the community to grow it and to give back with. And I think that's one of the things I want to be known for is just to try and grow it, to like show people that fingerboarding is actually really cool and not keep it private or like keep it under wraps. Like show the everyday people that's like, hey dude, fingerboarding is awesome. Like spread the word on that. Get the community bigger. And that's what I want to do with contests. If anyone's going to do a contest, make sure it's not just giving out stuff. Like make sure it's a contest to where people have to put entries in, because that stuff grows the community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You
Like,
gotta keep people involved.
I have to say one thing. I'm getting tagged in all these pictures with that say like tag 5 friends and like do this. That stuff is not that good for the community. That turns people off. So I guess I don't want to say it's like being negative about it, but if you do contests where you say, hey, if you have the best entry, you'll win, then that pushes people to get better and like put their all into their fingerboard content. And that's what makes the community better, in my opinion.
Keeps the
So I want to hold contests like that all the time. So
No,
I
awesome.
guess
dude.
did I even answer the question, or did I just go off on a tangent right there?
No, you did. No, you answered in the beginning, but then you talked about, you said side
My
note.
bad.
Yeah,
For sure.
no. You want to, you want to be known for, honest. Like you want to be different.
I
from
just
what
want to
you
leave a positive impact. Like that's it's simple as that, really. Like
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like I don't want to be um I just want to be positive in the community, and I want that to inspire other people. You know, if there's kids that have DM'd me about like just stupid drama stuff, I always DM them back, and I'm like, dude, don't pay attention to that like crap. That's so stupid. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And because if they see me not paying attention to that bullshit, then they're not going to pay
Yeah,
attention. Like, oh, that's
exactly.
way better not to deal with that. That's kind of my goal too, is just to like,
Set a
I
standard.
guess like spread what I think is right,
Right,
and
exactly.
what I think is positive and cool, and that's basically it. It's as simple as that. There's no like um crazy like end goal, you know. Just be good in the community and make cool stuff.
Exactly. No, and people don't understand, especially like kids. I shouldn't say kids, but like guys like us that are kind of been around for a while and like realize how fingerboarding impacted us when we were younger when we looked at content. Now that they get so much content on platforms like Instagram and stuff, like it is kind of a big influence on them. You know what I mean? So you gotta spread
It is,
positivity.
yeah. So if, like I said, if they see me doing something, you know, if it's a younger kid, then I want to have a good example for that person or whatever, so that they're like, oh, he's doing it that way. Like I'll probably do that too, or
Yeah.
whatever it may be, you know.
And
Um,
also letting them know that they should get a stack so they can also get stacked. You know what I mean?
yeah,
that
that was something.
that may have been also one of the greatest advertisements for a company. They should pay you a little bit of money. Like Stacked owes you at least a couple.
Nah, he gave me that board for free at the rendezvous, so that's the least I could do.
Okay, for sure. No, that makes so much sense. But that was so good. I was like, oh man. When you get
Thanks.
the Don okay, you get bullied into buying a stack.
Improved that message for sure. Stacks are really good boards.
No, dude, those things are beasts. But anyways, Arc Ramps, my man Don P coming on to the show.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you the end of this kind of like this little bit of time to talk or like say shout outs or like show love to whoever you need to. You know what I mean? And then I will cut you loose, my man.
All right, sounds good. I don't want to sound like a broken record or repeat what I said, but yeah, stay tuned for my new series that are coming out, and just new products are going to be coming out left and right here soon. And then also working on that workshop video, the episode 3, which will be out probably tomorrow or the next day. Like I'm literally it's all the filming's done, so just got to edit it and stuff. And shout out to my boy Biz, shout out to Paragon Bra in the chat.
Ooh.
And yeah, I mean, just keep your eyes peeled for stuff, and it's gonna be cool. I'm really excited for this next year to see where things go.
Dude, I think everyone.
Because if you think about it, I started this started ARC officially like a year ago or a year and a month ago.
Right.
So I'd like to. I think that's like pretty new still. So I'm excited to see what like the second year holds. You know.
Exactly. The
It's
sophomore year.
gonna be a
man.
fun ride, dude.
Exactly.
I'm really pumped.
Dude, Don.
Living the dream here, dude.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Putting out content and like you're a creator in the community, that's all you can ask for.
Dude, the making the videos and the production, the post production is what keeps me. It's my true passion, you know. I've been doing that for a long time, so that's where it keeps me alive, dude.
Dude, keeps it
So
going.
you already know that's gonna be coming nonstop.
Exactly. Dude, awesome, dude. I love the passion behind it. I love the fire.
Oh, dude, there's a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Dude, Don, thank you so much for coming on, dude. And like I say that, I know I say this, and I sound like a broken record when I say this, but I always tell everybody I'll have you back on again and stuff like that. But you are a ramp creator and a person and a personality that I want to have back on the show. So I will definitely be messaging you again, dude.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for having me on the show.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on, dude. It's been a pleasure. Don P, everybody. I'll let you get out of here, bro.
Right on. All right. See you, man.
Have a good one. Peace. Peace. All right, guys. We had Don P from Arc Ramps. Holy moly. What can you say, Great guy. All about the community. All about having passion in what he does. All about, making it a new idea and bringing it full, making it efficient and then making it for the people, If you guys said you want coping, he's got a whole series coming out for you and he's dropping it on the show. Showing love to Stevie and giving us the content we need. Dude, thank you so much, dude. That means a lot for you to come on the show and come do that for us. Other than that, though, thanks to everybody that came into the chat. Let's see who we got here still. AOS Krill, Suppy Fingerboards, Paragon Bra. Everybody that's lurking, dude, thank you guys so much. And if you want to support the motherfucking thing that I do here with the sesh, feel free to hit that follow button. I will definitely be turning my Twitch alerts on and things like that. And if you're feeling super, super nice, you can subscribe, and all the proceeds and the content, like money I make off of this, go back into, basically keeping, like fresh content and fresh like reviews on things like going on my page. So if you feed the beast, you get product and content. If not, whatever, I'll still do it. Doesn't matter. So thank you guys, everybody that, shows love to the Instagram. I'm at Stevie Harkins, I'm at Stevie from the Sesh on Instagram. That's at Stevie from the Sesh. It's on the page right in front of your face. I also have my website now, stevieharkins.com. So feel free to go there. And make sure you check out the Fingerboard Discord. It is on the Fingerboard Reddit, so just feel free to go through there and basically sign up and go through there. Because there's a bunch of people doing dope stuff over there. But again, Don Polaric, thank you so much, man. Coming on, saying what up, giving us the word about arc ramps. On that note, though, I think I'm going to bounce out of here because it is getting late. And your boy must go to sleep because I got work tomorrow. But Fingerboard World, I hope you guys stay positive. Keep that idea and keep that fire strong, just like Don. Make sure you go pick yourself up an arc ramp if you have not. If you're not, you're snoozing and you're losing. And you don't want to snooze, you don't want to lose. That's two things I learned in this life. So I'm out of here, dude.